Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's UBNradio.com.
And greetings and salutations, everyone. You have once again tuned into Dr. Judy WTF. And I'm your host, Walt Lusk, here at Universal Broadcasting Network, UBNradio.com, with, of course, the world-renowned and world-famous Dr. Judy Rosenberg. And we have to say thank you very much, folks. Right now, we have patients on 4 continents as a result of this show, which is just absolutely mind-boggling. It's just incredible. And this is a call-in show. And if you want to call in and be on the couch with Dr. Judy with your emotional ouch, you can call area code 323-843-2826. That's 323-843-2826. Or internationally, you can do Skype us as well, which is UBN for Universal Radio Network, Universal Broadcasting Network, UBN Radio number 2. And we'll get you on air and on the couch with Dr. Judy. And I promise I won't jump it up and down very, very much. And you can also find us here every Thursday at 8 o'clock Pacific here in Los Angeles. And on YouTube, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Spreaker and Stitcher.
Spreaker?
Spreaker's a new one. It's actually a cousin. It's a cousin to iHeartRadio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's coming up in the world. It's Spreaker.
Or you could say sister, because tonight's topic is
tonight's topic is actually sibling rivalry. And I'm entitling it From Genes to Scenes, and we have somebody who just couldn't wait. Let's see.
Wow.
Hi, you're on the couch with Walt and Dr. Judy.
Hello. Oh, my gosh, it's such an honor.
Hi.
Yeah, our timing is exquisite. We just started the show. Who's this?
Awesome.
This is Michelle. I just want to say, first and foremost, I'm so happy to be on the show because I've been watching you guys for the last few weeks. I found your channel about 3 weeks ago.
Well, thank you.
And the amount of information I received truly changed my life and helped me just get insight on what's been happening, because I found out a year ago my mom was a narcissist. And it's been, obviously, you guys would know,
I hate it when
really
that
difficult.
happens. I hate it when that happens.
Especially when you listen to all of this information and people's eyes open wider and wider and wider. I could just hear their eyes going pop, in the background.
Yeah.
Wow. And so there's a lot of damage, as you know. There's a lot of fallout material from narcissistic mothers. And I'm so glad you called. Thank you. We love call-ins.
Well, we do.
I think you know that.
Was there one particular aha from the show that kind of hit you, or how it helped you? You can take a minute and just elaborate.
The mind map theory definitely helped, because when I first found out, I went through basically every phase, and I'm basically now kind of in the recovery phase. I was, when I first found out, I was relieved, but then afterwards, a month afterwards, I went into a really deep depression, and I couldn't control how I felt. I was having anxiety. I've never been that low in my life, and I couldn't control the way I felt, and I didn't know if that was I didn't know what it was. And then just figuring out about the mind map, figuring about recoding your past to sorry, I don't know the exact quote. Recode your past.
You're doing great.
Decode your past, recode your future.
Exactly.
That hit me. I was like, yeah, because some people are just oh, you just have to move forward, just let it go.
No.
But in my heart,
It'll
I'm like,
bite
no.
you. It'll bite you.
Exactly. So people didn't really understand, and I just kept being told, because no one really understands. It's not that popular here, so it's no one really understood what narcissism was. And then watching you guys' shows, it was oh my God, everything was just okay, they, you guys are literally my heart knows everything you guys are saying, and you guys are saying it and putting it into words and putting it into a mind map theory and putting it into steps. And it was it was life changing. Yeah, so I'm really happy to be
Wow.
on
I mean,
here.
it's incredible for us, obviously, to hear this.
It's so incredible for us to hear it. Do you have her Dr. Judy's book?
Yeah, I'm about to buy it on Amazon. I'm just finishing off the book I'm reading right now.
Okay, let me know. Let me know what you think about the book after you finish. Communicate with me, okay? Michelle is your name.
I will for sure.
Now you're calling from the LA area, are you not?
No, I'm calling from Vancouver, but then I downloaded an app.
You have an LA number,
to
so
call free to LA.
Okay.
Well, you can.
So
cool.
great. Okay, so I'm
Vancouver. Okay, cool.
I was a Canadian. I took on American citizenship, but I lived in Montreal, Canada for a long time. So hello, fellow Canadian, and and I think that therapy's in general more popular in the United States. I don't know how people in Canada feel about therapy. Maybe it's just a little bit more of you go if you're crazy, but if you're kind of okay, figure it out yourself. Is that the general attitude, or what's going on in Vancouver about the feelings about going to therapy?
Yeah, it's nationalized medicine.
Like that. It's basically like what you just said.
Okay.
I talked to a few doctors, and they're kind of like, well, what's wrong with you? And then I kind of explain the situation, and they're just like, oh, okay, well, are you okay? Like, they don't really understand.
They're doing therapy in one question.
I went to one psychiatrist, and it was just, it wasn't a good experience. So basically, all the healing I'm doing is just by myself and through my own research. And
well, if you want a third party of someone who's experienced in the mind map, we can do therapy all over the world. And we can do phone therapy, and of course we have other plethora of therapists in addition to Dr. Judy.
So anyway, definitely, and a sliding scale, just for you to know. Okay, so let me see what I can do to help you right now. As you know, or maybe you don't, the topic of the show is sibling rivalry. Okay. And so what narcissistic parents create is a bunch of sibling rivalry. Why? Because they want to pit one child against the other. And so the purpose of that is so that they get a lot of attention. Is that something of your experience, or not so much?
Oh, for sure. 110%.
Okay. And by the way, what is your family of origin? Because I'm hearing an accent. Where are you originally from?
Oh, my mom's Indian and my dad's Caucasian, but they both speak fluent English.
Okay.
But I've been told I have an accent, but I don't know where from.
Maybe you have a Canadian accent. I used to have a little bit of a Montreal Canadian accent, but I don't know. I don't know if it's if you could hear it any longer. Okay, so tell me what you discovered about your family that you didn't know that brought you to this oh my God experience.
So I always knew something was wrong in our family. My dad just wasn't present. He was like, he doesn't even know my birthday. Like, still,
that's pretty not present.
He was just not emotionally there. Like, I would think of him more as a roommate. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't ever really like talk to us, or he would just go to work, come home kind of thing, and he didn't include himself in our lives. Then later on I figured out that he was really forced by my mom to have kids and have a family. He didn't really want any of that.
Is he of Indian origin, or is your mom? I don't remember what you said about that.
My mom is Indian. She's from India.
Okay.
And my dad is Caucasian.
Okay. And one of the things that I look at a lot are cultural wounds. So there's a certain cultural there are certain cultural rules and roles that go along with the Indian culture. I have a large Indian population of people that I have seen in the past, so I'm pretty familiar with the culture. It tends to be female dominated, in the sense that Amma is queen. Is that correct in your family as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so your father was not present. He didn't even remember your birthday. And what about your mother? What is she like?
She was, growing up as a kid, I always thought she was, like, I would call her a robot because she didn't have any emotions. Okay. I've never seen her cry except for one time, which was associated with my older sister failing the golden child. And she came to me and was like, I can't do anything right. and then she was kind of like putting that onto me.
Okay.
Like, why is she failing? But when I would fail, it would just be like, okay, that's fine. Like, da, da, da.
Are you
Like
the
typical
younger or
textbook
older
narcissistic.
one? Are you the younger or older one?
I'm the middle child.
Middle
the
child. Scapegoat. And then your sister. Is that a sister?
Someone has seen a couple of our shows.
Yeah, seriously. And then yeah, you guys are good. And how about is it a sister? The older one, is this a sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 3 girls in our family. So I'm the middle child.
Okay.
Then there's an older sister I'm 22. She's 24.
Okay.
Then a younger sister, and she's 16.
Okay. So would you say the firstborn is the golden child?
For sure, 110%.
And
textbook
then,
golden child.
Textbook golden child. Are you the scapegoat?
Yes, 100%.
Is the baby the mascot?
Not really, because
or the
I
lost
kind of
one.
raised her.
You kind of raised
Lost
her.
child. My mom has told her to her face, like, "Oh, we weren't planning to have more than 2 kids.
Oh,
Like, it
wow.
was a
There it
mistake."
is.
Jeez.
And my mom, yeah, it was textbook narcissist, literally. But
Okay.
me and my sister, she was very present in both of our lives and very hands-on. But to my younger sister, she went back to work even when she was a baby, and my dad kind of raised her more.
Okay.
And then I stepped in and then really raised her.
I
So
see.
she didn't really have a really strong connection with my mom, thank God. And
Thank
she's
God.
doing very, very
Wow.
well in her life, even
She
at
is.
16.
So you were a better mom than your mom was a mom, and that's great news, and not so great news for you, because in some sense you lost your childhood
paid a
and
high
your
price for it.
teenagehood, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense that was not your job. Your job was to be free to make friends, go to school, go to extracurricular activities, all of that. And so since you were so responsible for your sister, I guess you had to skip out on that one. So, okay, just going back to attachment theory, knowing a little bit about the wounds of childhood. In general, did your mother breastfeed the kids? Was she stay at home with the children? I guess she wasn't the most emotionally available, because you describe her robotically cold, I assume. Is that pretty much the way it was for you?
Yeah, she was very unemotional, like completely detached, but she did breastfeed us, and she did stay home for me and my older sister.
Okay.
When we were younger.
Okay, and how are you getting along? Tell me the connection between the sisters. Who gets along with who, and who doesn't get along with who? How does Golden Child get along with you, the scapegoat?
So basically, me and my younger sister have been really close, because I really took her under my wing, and
Makes
we're
sense.
both just really similar in our personalities too. So it was really easy for us to be friends.
Okay.
With my older sister, though, it was just no relationship our whole life. Like, we would literally walk past each other in the hallways and not say anything or look at each other in the eyes. And I thought that was normal. I'm like, okay, like sibling rivalry or something. Like, and every time we tried to connect, we just couldn't connect.
Okay.
And now looking back, learning about the things my mom did, like, really, it's crazy, because it's such subtle things, but over a period of time, it made us hate each other so much, and we never had a relationship.
That's why we're doing this show.
It's
This is exactly why we're, and thank you so much for calling in, because your example is perfect in the sense that people don't understand. How come I don't like my brother? How come I don't like my sister? Why are we feuding? And I'm telling you, in the case of these dysfunctional families where mother has to be number one and father's absent in your case, and he's not necessarily mitigating the damages, right? Except he did with your younger sister, somewhat. What parents will do, dysfunctional parents will do, is they will set up the chess pieces. Okay, they'll set up the family dynamics so that the other child, the golden child, will do their bidding for them. So they'll enmesh with the golden child, they'll get connected with the golden child, and that child will pick up mom's negative feelings about the other children, and then they will be like a little mini mom in the way that they treat the other siblings. Does that sound familiar?
Yep, 100%.
Okay, so
perfect example.
So it's not even only that your mom is feeling that way for you. Now it's magnified because you've got this this double mirror of negativity. There's two sets of eyes looking at you with criticism and disdain and whatever you're experiencing. So no wonder you went into the depression. And so at what point did you start feeling, okay, just cut to now, how are you feeling today, these days? How are you?
So my, like, all throughout my life, I felt really I knew something was wrong.
Okay.
I was a very normal kid. I played sports. I was a singer. Like, I was very outgoing naturally.
Mm-hmm.
But inside, I'm like, oh, something is so wrong with me. But then obviously elementary school, you don't really know. You don't really care, really. You just go on with your life. And then in high school, I was like, okay, something's wrong with me. I have the computer, so I was searching it up. I'm like, okay, and then I got bipolar disorder, and I'm like, but I don't really fit that. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm depressed. But then I'm like, no, I'm not depressed because I'm not suicidal. But I'm like, and I just kept searching, and nothing really clicked. And then at a point, I kind of just accepted. I'm like, okay, I'm just, this is me. And then I kind of went, like, my emotions were always over the place. Deep down, I never loved myself. I always had this, like, really deep hatred for myself, which is weird because, like, I could say I am pretty. I know I'm pretty, and I have a good life. I'm not, like, rich, but I have a very, decent life. So nothing was stopping me. But then I would ask myself, I'm like, why do I hate myself so much? Why am I not happy right now? And when things would happen, like big things that are good, like I won a contest to New York because I did a public speaking thing. And I was so happy and I was so proud of myself, but that only lasted till I came back home, and then it's like, okay, depressed again, or my moods are back again.
Okay, so let me tell you what happened there so you can get a little understanding, okay? So what happens is that babies are like permeable membranes. They absorb all the messaging that their mothers, fathers encode into them, so to speak, verbally and non-verbally, and then your sister on top of it is reinforcing this. Okay, so here you are with your cold mother, robotic, and your father's kind of absent, and your sister's barely looking at you. So what do you think the message is to you? What do you think you're encoding?
Oh, for sure. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of love.
Exactly.
Precisely.
Exactly. And so all children think it's their fault. So then you encode this message and then you start hating upon yourself, which you're talking about. And so there it is, your negative core belief, I'm not worthy of love, I'm not lovable, okay? And then you go through life having these wonderful experiences, but they don't really sink in for long because the core belief that you're not worthy, you're not lovable, repels the good that comes in. So it becomes this kind of like an emptiness that takes place within you, even though you're being filled with a beautiful life and awards and so on. So does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and that word emptiness, that's definitely what I felt my whole life, emptiness, for sure.
So back to attachment theory, how do we create a fullness in an infant and a child and eventually an adult as we give them the ingredients of unconditional love in the form of breastfeeding, eye contact, emotional availability, soothing, skin to skin, okay? Positive regard, okay, good mirroring. And from what you're telling me, your mother didn't provide you this, your father was absent, and so how do you form a core of self without these things, you see? And so your sister had a different dynamic. She probably got more enmeshed with your mother, and then luckily your other sister had you, but truth be known, how can you give her all those things? Because you yourself didn't get them. So then when life puts all the pressure on you and you have to manifest everything, then it's almost like the emotional bandwidth isn't there for it all. And then inner core collapses and there's the depression, okay? And you just can't hold it. Okay, so I really want to know more about how the book strikes you because it's going to break it all down.
Yeah, it'll be really helpful, but you're doing fabulous.
Yeah, really. You know so much. And just for you to understand depression is anger turned inward. Anger turned inward.
Yeah.
So if you cannot express yourself, you go into repression, and then that repression turns to depression. And I think that's what's happening with you. So just, I would say, if you can't get somebody locally in the Vancouver area, or even if you can, I don't think that many people really understand mind map therapy. They don't, because I created it, so of course they don't, okay? And many don't understand how to really map people through, journey people from, through to wounds of childhood, deconstruct them and recode them. So please feel free to reach out to me.
And you've
team.
done a lot of the work yourself. So
you have.
The foundation is very solidly laid. So therefore, the length of time for therapy is not going to be forever. I mean, a matter of a couple of months.
10 sessions.
Yeah, 10
sessions. Okay.
Yeah.
So
easily.
So let me know how you're doing, okay? If you need help, we have all kinds of wonderful people on staff, sliding scale included. Okay, really appreciate your call.
Thank you so much for calling.
I think you've helped to illustrate a lot of what we're talking about today.
Yeah, and thank you guys, truly, your guys' podcast, you deserve millions of views. I would say you're the number one on YouTube right now about narcissism, about all the topics.
Thank
truly,
you.
They are getting a lot of looks.
Informational.
But thank you.
Really
appreciate it.
really
So be sure and
appreciate
subscribe,
it.
like, and share.
Yes.
Okay, for
Thanks for
sure.
calling.
Thank you so
And
much,
share
guys.
your email on the website,
Y-
and then we can communicate with you, okay?
Yep. Or just
Okay,
write.
for sure.
You can write info@drjudywtf.com as well if you want to.
Yes. And tell
Okay,
me that we
perfect.
spoke tonight, and I'll know.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Bye,
for
guys.
calling in. Bye. Pretty incredible.
Oh man, I know.
Yeah.
I know. We get testimonials daily. It's it's really humbling. It's
It
really
is
a blast.
really humbling. And,
Yeah,
and,
it is.
And sometimes I myself forget because we're just sitting in this room chatting.
We are.
And sometimes
I
forget.
have a hobby about I take at least 20-30 minutes a day going through the comments from YouTube, and I send Judy the hot ones check this one out, this one's great.
Yeah,
and
very much
99% of them are
appreciated.
positive. It's just amazing. Yeah. So we're
Okay,
we're
sibling
continuing-
rivalry. So
rivalry.
can you see how a mother would set up the family dynamics to do her bidding? In the book, Be the Cause, Healing Human Disconnect, I talk about Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, and of course, the Wicked Witch of the East or West, and she has these West. Thank you. And she has these flying monkeys. So I liken the sisters and the brothers who are doing the bidding of the parents as the flying monkeys who are kind of like the messengers to hit the sibling over the head the same way the parents are doing.
Do you have something about Toto too?
Toto's the truth dog.
Toto too.
And C.S. Lewis, the author of The Wizard of Oz, was brilliant because Toto.
Actually, it was different. It was a different. It was a different author, but it's okay.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, wait. Who was?
It wasn't.
Oh, Baum. I'm so
Yes,
sorry. You're
that's
right.
okay.
I'm thinking about Alice in Wonderland, my other love.
Yeah.
But Frank L. Baum,
Yes.
Wizard. Thanks for that correction,
no problem.
Walt.
No problem.
Yeah, because Wizard of Oz is the metaphor that I use in the book.
Mm-hmm.
The yellow brick road. Of course, the mind map is a pathway to healing. And Toto is another word for in toto, which is Latin for in totality, which is the truth. So when Toto pulls the curtain on the wizard who is really manipulating the illusions
Don't pay attention to the
of
man
the
behind
Oz,
the curtain.
then what happens, the illusions crumble. And that's the same thing with therapy, is that we have this illusion that our parents are so great. We have this illusion that they are Oz-like, they are superpower, they are the source of who we are. And then through therapy or through mind map in specific, we shine the truth light on all of these disillusionments and the lies, and then people kind of, oh my God, I didn't see it this way. Now I know why I'm depressed. Now I know why I feel like I don't deserve love. Now I know why I'm doing what I call the WTF, or the what the Freud, which is getting involved in relationship after relationship with narcissistic people or people who are going to re-injure the wound and create the same patterning as the family of origin. Yeah, so that's Toto, truth dog.
The truth dog. So we're going to continue our discussion here on sibling rivalry. We'll see how much we can get through, and we might have to do another show or call in again. This is a call-in show, so get on the couch. We promise you'll get on the couch with Dr. Judy. Number is area code 323-843-2826. Now, sibling rivalry stems way back to ancient times and biblical times, the story of Cain and Abel. Two brothers in competition with each other for their father's approval. Their story is rife with emotion, love, hate, and jealousy. It ultimately ends with pain and tragedy. The story Cain and Abel highlights some of the unique aspects that set siblings' relationships apart from others. It's a bond forged by both biology and circumstances. They can be either friend or foe, confidant or competitor. So that's a little bit of sibling rivalry. And one last thing I wanted to do before we start is siblings are forever. As parents of many children, we wear many hats: teacher, referee, coach, psychologist, and field general. Yet we wear our communications hats to help our children be lifelong friends. And you have to understand, you spend more time with your siblings when you're younger than anybody else.
And healthy families forge strong relationships with their offspring, because intuitively we as parents know that we're not going to be around forever, and so for the survival of the next generation, it's important that the children carry on, and they carry on as a team. And so that would be a healthy family. A healthy family has two pillars: a mother, a father, or two significant others, two parents that get along with each other and provide the narcissistic supplies, which are the soothing, the consistency, the mirroring, the communication, everything that the child needs for a healthy human psyche. And when mother and father are on the same team, then they're showing the same front, hopefully both on a healthy page with each other. So when they are, there's law and order in the family, and the siblings seem to settle down. When parents are in discord, when they're dysfunctional, when they're one is absent or one is an alcoholic, or they see parents beating each other, then they will act out upon each other. And that's another source of sibling rivalry. So they're really acting out upon each other the anger that they feel toward their parents, because they cannot express the anger toward their parents directly. So it's kind of like it goes sideways to one sibling or another sibling. And another form of rivalry that I've come across in my practice is stepsister and brother to, let's say there's a child of two biological parents. I just heard this recently, and then there's a stepchild involved from another family. Then that stepchild may not feel welcome.
No,
in the
for
family.
The research, the bond isn't as strong. But if the child was adopted, then the bond is very strong.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that child is wanted.
Yes. But you're correct. If it's a stepbrother or sister, as far as brothers and sisters go in the bond, no.
Different
it's a
dynamic.
different bond.
Right.
Ultimately, it's different, even though they throw adoption in the same boat as brother and sister. But it's you're right, it is different.
So this whole system and this whole way of thinking is predicated on human connect and disconnect. And wherever we're disconnected from, we hurt. And wherever we're connected, we start growing again. And we start flourishing. And so when mother and father are disconnected, it's no wonder that the siblings are disconnected,
exactly.
Right? If there's any kind of a role modeling of yelling at each other, so verbal abuse or physical abuse or some sort of a neglect of each other, children, they copycat their parents, and that's what I mean by the blueprint. They will copy that blueprint, and then they will rehearse that blueprint and they'll enact it within the sibling dynamic. So that's a lot of the sibling rivalry, and there are all kinds of sibling rivalry because as we talked about in some of our episodes, the lost child and the
golden child, mascot
and the
child,
scapegoat
and the scapegoat
mascot.
child.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we have episodes on all of those
from
aspects.
a narcissistic parental family dysfunction perspective.
Exactly. Okay. So it might be interesting to listen to those episodes.
Yeah, those were last year.
Late
last year.
Last year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't that long ago, was it? Right. And so again, healthy families foster interconnection. So, Walt, if you don't mind putting the mind map up, I can go through it.
And those of you who are tuning in, you can go to drjudywtf.com and see the mind map.
Thank you. Tell me when it's
all
up.
All 9 panels.
Okay, thank you. So the top third represents our past. The middle third represents the chaos and breakdown in the here and now. And the bottom third represents the morph and paradigm shift into healing and reconnection. So if you look at the top row, you will see wounds.
I hate to interrupt you, but we have another call.
Awesome. I'd love to be interrupted.
Absolutely.
That way. Okay.
Hi, you're on the couch with Dr. Judy and Walt.
Hi.
Oh, hi, you guys.
You are on the air and on the couch.
Okay, I think there's a delay on because you guys are talking now about the mind map, but I have you on the phone at the same time.
Okay, well, you can turn your computer down, and it would probably be
You know
easier.
what? I'm going to close the lid on it and just listen to you guys.
Just exactly.
Yeah,
okay.
we're live.
Okay, you guys, I love you guys. Thank you so much for
that's
the
so
work
sweet.
Your
you're doing. Oh, my gosh.
Your name?
My name is Beverly.
Oh, hi, Beverly.
And, oh, wow, I don't know where to begin, so I'm just going to kind of give you a real condensed version.
And where are you from? I always want to know where people are from. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Nevada.
Okay, awesome. So
Reno, Nevada area.
Reno, Nevada.
Yes.
Biggest little city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I am 54. I have an adopted sister who's 57 who now will not speak to me at all. I have 2 deceased parents. The upbringinging was my mother didn't think she can get pregnant. They adopted my sister. Then, lo and behold, a few years later, she got pregnant with me.
Yes.
Okay.
And then health problems hit my dad, probably when I was about 10, heart disease when he was about 51, had to have a triple bypass.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
Sorry.
early.
Then,
That's early.
and that took, that's a long process to heal and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, my parents didn't really have any relationship. My dad never said he loved me. My mom, not until the last few years of her life. Once my dad kind of got through the heart disease, breast cancer from my mom.
Wow.
went through
1-2
that
punch.
and the whole
Wow.
thing, chemo, mastectomy, and everything.
Yeah.
And then after she healed from that, heart disease back for my dad. At one point, my adopted sister, said to me when I was like 14, she's like, Beverly, she goes, our parents are dying. And I just remember almost like my legs falling out from underneath me. She excelled in academics. I'm like a genius artist. I mean, unbelievably great. Yet, at 54, I have nothing to show for it. No retirement, never been married, no kids.
Mm-hmm.
My mother and father were like, my mom married at 17, quit working at 19, had 8 siblings in her family. My dad was about 6 years older, like 8 siblings in his family, depression. So when all the health issues were going on, it's like, who's going to take care of you kids? And my mom particularly would be like, you're nothing but a dirty, rotten bum. You're nothing but a louse. Like when I was a kid, and I'm thinking, what am I supposed to be, a CEO at a bank? I mean,
So these were her words to you?
Yes, you're nothing but a rotten bum. You're just a louse. Nobody's going to want you my whole life. So I grew up, I got into their liquor cabinet girl at 15.
Yeah.
Started smoking weed and everything else.
I
you know?
mean, I would think that, by the way, did your parents stay together till the bitter
They
end?
stayed together until my mom died in 94. Her cancer came back. It was just a revolving door of real serious health stuff. Her cancer came back.
Okay. Is your
with a
father
vengeance.
still alive?
And she died. My mother died in 94. My father moved in with my sister about 10 years ago because she always had stable work. She excelled in academics and did medical research.
Okay.
So he lived with her the last 10 years of his life, and he died in 2015.
I see.
And I called to talk to him, in January of 2015, and my sister goes, "Oh, he died yesterday." So that's how close we are. And she now just doesn't talk to me. And
was that
so basically?
Go ahead.
I just want to wrap up, and I'm going to let you speak. My whole life, never married, no kids, can't seem to have relationships, 2 DUIs, still self-employed as an artist, but just get by. No retirement. My dad signed the house over to my sister like 20 years ago because medical bills, they were going to try to sue them.
Right.
And he's fear-based. So she got the house and everything. Now she has 2 homes. I have nothing.
Wow,
so
that's very painful.
like 2 years ago, I moved in with a senior friend to help her with cancer. She died there with me. I was their end-of-life caretaker, her family, so I could stay in the house a few months. I hadn't saved up enough. I had to get out. I lived in my truck 4 months. I finally got in a place in September, and now here I am going month to month. Okay, that's my story.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Well,
so
I had double dungeon because I hate myself.
Double
and I can't
dungeon
even,
of darkness. Okay, so let's retrace it.
Someone's been watching some shows.
We've got time limitations. I wish I had.
Yeah.
We have some.
Yeah, I know.
We do have some time. Actually, we have some time. That's really nice. So, when did your sister start hating you?
Pretty much from the time we were kids. We were never close. Like, I was the one that kind of got in trouble and was smoking weed and getting into liquor, and I was an artist, and she excelled at school. She knew she was adopted. In fact, she went to reach out to her natural birth mother like 20 years ago, and the mother didn't want anything to do with her.
I see. Okay.
But she did. But as kids, we weren't close.
Okay, so was she the golden child, would you say?
Yes, absolutely.
To your mother, for sure. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
And your father?
Say.
And your father, too?
I would say so. He was kind of checked out. He'd go to work early in the morning, like 6 o'clock, come home, eat dinner at 6 o'clock, fall asleep in the chair, do it again the next day. So the mother was the full-time caretaker, but she was, particularly with me, extremely abusive. You know, there was hitting and stuff when I was younger. My sister didn't really, I would sass back because I was acting out because I was going, these people hate me. And I kind of hate them.
Well, it's kind of like a self-infection
yes,
thing.
the feeling is mutual.
Okay, so it's kind of like, yeah, right. It's a self-infection thing because you keep talking about this this treatment that you got, the hitting, and then you're a lousy. What did she say? You're a lousy something.
You're a lousy, rotten bum, a dirty bum. You name it.
Okay, and as you may know by now, listening to the thinking, the mind map system, and the way that this whole thing is systematically explained, we as children soak in the parental messages. Okay, so if your mother says that you're a lousy, lazy bum, then that's what you believe yourself to be. Okay, period.
And not only
they're
that,
your source.
And not only that, you may rise to the occasion of being a lousy bum.
There we go. So this is the self-infecting part. Okay, so then you ingest, I like to call it an ingestion process. You ingest the negative core belief. It lands in panel 3, which is that DNA strand. You can put it up for a minute. And then what happens is that whenever she re-triggers it or anybody re-triggers it, then it's off to the races. Panel 4, 5, 6, chaos, defenses, and breakdowns. And what's your favorite?
And gambling too, by the way.
So your favorite defenses, alcohol, right? Gambling.
I got them all.
All right, so you just love the whole gamut of defense mechanisms. They're fun until they break you down, right? So here's a sad case where you believed the lies of their messaging to you, whether they were subtle or not so subtle, messaging that was either direct, covert, or overt. It doesn't matter. It's not only what people say or parents say, it's what they don't say also. And you told me that they never told you that they loved you, right, as such. So they withheld
And there's
that.
a lot of guilt about them having terminal illness because as a child, you know, we internalize it. Yeah.
So look, as children, we always want to have that bond with our parents. So the bond at any cost. So in your case, they just didn't let you make that bond. Somehow they made it with your sister, but not with you. And so in order for you to shield yourself from these horrible negative core belief messages, what you had to do was you had to numb yourself out. Okay, and for whatever reason, similar reason to the last caller, your sister, your adopted sister, was the golden child who ended up hearing your mother say that you're a loser and that you're rotten, no good, loser. And so she believed what your mother said about you. And so the whole family was infected with this negative belief about you in this case, to use the specific, okay? And so what happened to you is that you got the double dose, okay? Maybe triple dose from your mom, from your father, from your sister.
The flying monkey.
So the flying monkey, she was doing the bidding of your mother and she was enacting it on you. And the sad part is that when everybody got sick, of course, the empathy kicks in, right? Poor mom, poor dad. But at that point, you become the giver that never got. And that's a horrible position to be in. So now you feel compelled to give because they're old and you feel the obligation to do so. But the truth is they never really gave to you. So it becomes this kind of like a vampiring effect, which digs the hole deeper. And then on top of it all, you find out that the inheritance is going to your sister.
Who is adopted, for God's
sake. Well, it's already
which
done. I mean, the mother's dead, the father's dead,
right.
She's got it. And now
She's
I'm 54 going, wow, I'm going to be in a box on the cardboard. And hating and going, wow, how can I turn my life around at this point?
Okay, so you turn your life around, number one, by understanding that whatever you were doing was obviously not your fault. We are not the cause of part one of our lives.
Nope.
However, we are the cause of part two, which is to heal ourselves and get out of the double dungeon of darkness, as I like to put it, because we're all in some kind of a psychological prison, if you will. We're either imprisoned by our habits or we're imprisoned by our jobs or, on some level, okay? This is the human condition. And so our job is to identify our wounds of childhood, how they embed in us and how they define our core belief about ourselves in the world. And then we must morph out of that, because if we're stuck in that, then we're basically just stuck in the lie of believing that we're a lousy, no good for nothing loser.
Right,
okay.
right.
And then that infects the rest of our lives, because that core belief will be your wish fulfillment, and it's not such a great wish, okay? No present there, okay? So then therefore the chaos ensues out of that, because you pick people that reinforce that core belief, you get in rotten relationships, let's say, you treat yourself with disregard, you develop habits that don't foster your growth, and then you said that you have a very high IQ, correct?
Well, I'm a professional artist, and I'm really good. I mean, stuff looks like a photograph, but trying to make a living like the career I could have had.
You're incredibly creative.
Okay, so look, this is what this stuff does. All of this demeaning, devaluing, destroying of a human being affects the cognition. And so when we're licking our emotional wounds, it's hard to concentrate. And when we're not being mirrored by our parents, right? And we're not given encouragement, and we're told that we're worthless and lousy and whatever, then we believe that, and then we don't manifest and become the best of our best. We just can't. It's very, very hard to do that, because there's that inner voice that keeps speaking the lie, and it's there, and it's hard to get out of our head, even though our parents are dead, right? This rhymes, but even though
well, your work
dead,
has been instrumental. I discovered you and Walt probably right when I moved into this place in September after 4 months of living in my truck.
Wow.
Which was fun at my right.
Okay.
Well, that's a wake-up call, because it's not so cute when you're an adult trying to look to couch surf. It's one thing when you're 20,
of course,
not when you're 54, right?
Okay, right.
But I kind of understand now how I got here, thanks to the mind map and everything.
Oh,
but
so
my core issue now is I'm 54, and I feel like how many years I have left? 10 years?
You have a lot
more
than that.
How am I going to make retirement? How am I going to...
You
have nothing. I'm terrified every day, and that sends the triggers again.
All right, I'm going to tell you a little secret, okay? You know when my mind... I created my mind map back in 2001, as you'll read about if you have my book, okay? That mind map was not what it is today.
No.
It was directed toward join the human race healing global disconnect. That was the consciousness behind the mind map. Global. I was trying to create a pathway for healing for all of the isms on the planet. Black, white, Chinese, American, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Indian. I was trying to create a pathway so that all of our isms were not going to clash. We weren't going to end up annihilated. And so that was that, okay? So then I morphed it into a system of healing on a micro level, which is what you see now. Okay, but I'm going to tell you that the mind map really came alive when I had my big tragedy, okay, and something horrible happened in my life that put me in such a hole in my soul that I just went, oh, well, I guess I have nothing left here. So why don't I just believe in myself and not listen to people who said things like, oh, Judy, that mind map, that's such a harebrained idea, you know, like good luck, girl. And so I just, why not? I was already down in the dumps. And that's when I really started investing in myself.
It's about 3 years ago.
The moral of that was 4 years ago.
It was 3 or 4 years
right.
ago.
And I had a for sale sign on the Psychological Healing Center.
Yep.
And now really.
No,
and now it's flourishing. And I'm just telling you this because sometimes the phoenix rises, okay?
Yes.
And if you're a passionate artist and you start believing in yourself and you rid yourself and clean out these wounds of childhood, I believe anybody can become their ultimate manifested self.
And now I'm going to tell Dr. Judy really fast, and then I'm going to tell you something really quick, and then we got to scoot. Judy has 5 therapists under her and a psychologist, and close to 90 people come through the Psychological Healing Center in some way, shape, or form on a weekly basis. And as a result of this show, we have clients on 4 continents.
Yeah,
okay?
so really
that's
seriously.
Really from nothing, literally nothing 4 years ago.
Sometimes I call these things cursed by design. Yeah. Okay, are you with me? So whatever you went through has been a curse in your life, but now that you're opening your eyes, you don't know. You yourself don't know. And actually, you don't have to be any particular age to start really regaining yourself and tapping into your light. Some people do it at 20, some people do it at 40, some people do it at 60, some people start painting. Grandma Moses, didn't she start painting at age 80 something? Okay, so you just don't know. Okay, all you're responsible for is cleaning yourself so that you could tap into the light of your authentic self and then start manifesting from there.
I can't encourage you enough to get Dr. Judy's book. Maybe check out, I know we have a sliding scale. And remember that what you're doing is everybody does this, and that is you're comparing your worst to everybody else's best. But guess what they're doing? They're comparing their worst to everybody else's best as well. Right. And it's a lose-lose proposition because every time we all lose. So, somebody's going to look at you and go, oh, my God, I can't paint like you. I can't create that. Well, guess what? They're comparing their best to their worst to your best, okay? So you've got way more going for you than you think. And as Dr. Judy says, it's not how you start that matters. It's how you finish.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much.
You're
for your
so
show
welcome.
Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah, really appreciate your calling.
Keep us posted.
And I'm telling all my friends about you guys, too. I'm like, you got to listen to Dr. Judy.
Well, thank you so much.
Really appreciate it.
Really, we do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great evening.
Reach out to us, and we're there for you, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
God bless.
Bye.
All right, good night. Bye.
Well, this is part 1 of our Sibling Rivalry, and this is from genes to scenes. We're going to be having to continue this.
Okay.
These calls are fabulous, so thanks so much. And I get these calls, these comments on YouTube. It's like, well, when are you going to do a show on blah blah blah? And I'll call. It doesn't matter. Just call.
Yeah,
it's all good.
We got a few requests. I think we're going to start
Yeah, we have a few
looking
requests
at
for shows.
them and honoring the requests that people are sending us.
And it's time, Dr. G, we got to figure a movie after Shrink. We haven't shrunk a movie in a while, too. WTF, what the film?
What the film? Okay.
So we are going to shrink a song right now, and this one is kind of by request. It's called "We Are Family" by Sister Sledge. So we thought we'd do that, kind of be a little more positive here.
To balance out the sibling rivalry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Get up, everybody, and sing. Everyone can see we're together, and we can walk on as we walk on by, and we fly like birds of a feather. I won't tell no lie. And all the people around us, they say, can you be this close? That's right. Just let me say for the record, we're going to love as a family does.
Well, this is the dream. Okay, this is
in a perfect world.
The ideal world, a healthy family. Everybody is together, right? Panel 7, interconnection. Everyone works together, and they're like birds of a feather because they're part of the family, and they're really close, and they're loving. Okay, but that's not always the case. That's only in really functional families where everybody can say, we are family. Okay, go on.
Stay tuned. Yep. We are family, and I got my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got my sister with me. We got our family. Oh, yeah. Go get up, everybody, and sing.
So there's so much joy here. We can only wish that all families were like that. We can only wish that everyone felt that light inside of them and that joy. And when families get along, that's what's possible, is all this synergy.
Living life is fun, and we've just begun to get our share of the world's delights. High hopes we have for the future, our goals in sight. No, we don't get depressed. Here's what we call our golden rule. Have faith in you and the things you do. You won't go wrong. This is our family jewel. Yeah,
well, it would be nice if the family multi-generational transmission process was to give to the next generation all of this unconditional love and all of the goodwill that this song is expressing in each other. The golden rule, have faith in you and the things you do. That's not most families. That's not the message.
No, it's not.
You're a loser. You're not good enough. That's what I'm hearing in my office quite a bit of.
And then lastly, we are family. Hey, sing it to me. I've got my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. Have faith in you and the things you do. I got my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing.
Right, and that's when we're in the light and we have unconditional love, the most healing force on the entire planet.
Absolutely.
And when families love each other in an ideal sense like this, then anything is possible, and a lot of music and joy, and we should only have this in our lives.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so this has been the song We Are Family by Sister Sledge. The name of the album is called Sibling Rivalry.
The name of the album.
The album is called Sibling Rivalry.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, a friend has told me. It's called Sibling Rivalry.
Oh, okay.
That's the name of our show, and that's the name of the album of the song We Are Family.
Thank you for that, Walt.
There you go.
I thought that was a Freudian
slip. No. It's the name of the album. It's okay.
Okay.
And stay tuned for our next show on Sibling Rivalry, and feel free to call us. You can write us at info@Dr. Judy WTF. And, of course, we're on, as you all know, we're on YouTube, iHeartRadio here in the United States, Stitcher, and iTunes, and Spreaker. So we're going to sign off with our song. Thanks so much for listening, watching, sharing, and
for calling in.
And for calling in.
Really appreciate
So until
it.
next time, God bless everybody.